Hello, everybody. Welcome to the United Stand. Tuesday night, brand new panel. I've not seen, actually. I don't think this combination has ever been done before on the show, has it? I mean, Joe, Beth, Alex, let's get some different views on everything. I mean, Mark's been on today. Levin has been on. Great shows. If you've not already tuned in and watched them, guys, do drop down into the actual channel info that's there and watch them. Interesting stuff coming out of today, guys, because obviously Ollie's back. I wouldn't say at the wheel, although he was driving a nice Land Rover into the training ground this morning. It didn't look like it had any scratches or marks on it, so he's in control of that wheel. Don't know about the club, though. Don't know about this team, but we will get into that amongst other topics. Zidane, rumoured to be talking. Zidane's wife is talking. There's another woman who doesn't like Manchester. We've had a few of them before, haven't we? But there's a few other topics rolling in as well. We'll get into them. But first of all, Joe, how's it going, mate? How's life?
Yeah, unreal. Just I'm living in London currently, having the best time ever, growing a magnificent beard. As you can see, Adam, before you have a chance to bring it up, I'm going to just, snap it in front of you. It's coming along nicely. I'm not ashamed of it whatsoever. I think I couldn't be prouder of the way I look. And yeah, go team Joe's beard.
That's it. Joey's doing the Movember. So There you go, guys.
So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it, okay?
Yes. He's just going to go. He's literally just going to go as far as he can. And then he's just, when November's over, he's just going to see where it's at and make that decision then. Cut through.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those decisions where I don't wake up every morning crying, looking myself in the mirror. So, it's not going to be a decision the moment midnight goes, one second past midnight, that I have the razor out. I promise it won't be that. I'm sure I'll be incredibly proud of myself come December 1st.
Go, Joe. Go, Joe. Beth, brilliant interview with Romano yesterday. None of us liked what we heard, but he did a fantastic job nevertheless. How's your day been, Beth? Everything okay?
It's been good, Jeff. It's been chilling, gone uni, gone to the Christmas markets, and now I'm here to have a great chat with you guys. So, top day, really.
Love the markets. I'll be there very soon myself. I've seen a great picture on social media of the actual Yorkshire pudding wrap that they've got going on there right now.
You just eaten one. It was.
Have you? You just guys, if you haven't seen it, just get on social media on the Manchester Christmas market. A Yorkshire pudding wrap with everything inside it. Oh my God!
So good.
There you go. Well, Alex is in the Midlands there, so he's not been to Manchester Christmas market.
Well, we have the biggest Christmas market outside of Germany.
There he goes. So he's right in with it. How you doing, mate? You good, pal?
Yeah, not bad. Just rushed to get ready for this. I'm still in my work stuff. I've been back at the office, so
that dedication for you right there, mate.
Constantly.
That's it, dedication. See how I'm liking to just like ease it in and get the show started with a nice vibe, guys, before we start talking about United. It's the way it has to be at the moment. Yeah. Evening panel, mods and chat. It's my 39th birthday today. Thank God United are not playing. Well, that's it. Luke, mate, happy birthday, but weekend's not far away now. We are looking ahead. Watford this weekend. We may touch on that towards the end of the show and how we actually feel about that. But before that, obviously, topics today. Duncan Castle's been talking on Twitter. And you know what? It's more of, I think personally, it's easy to start talking and speculating once we know Ollie's back and nothing is going to happen. Everyone's all bullish again and all these stories start coming out. Joe, I've not spoke to you for a while, mate. First of all, I mean, in terms of where we're at with Ollie now, it does look like we are in with Ollie. For how long, I do not know. But for the foreseeable, we have got Ollie at the wheel still, mate. I mean, Conte's gone. Yeah. Rodgers has been spoken about. Zidane tonight. We'll get into that in a minute. But first of all, Joe, I mean, where are you at with the managerial situation right now and Ollie? Can you hang on towards the end of the season? Or do you feel like, for you, mate, because you've not had your say on it yet that I've heard, does it have to change soon for you?
No. I don't think anything good can come from changing, and I'm not saying that that we should hold on to Ollie forever, but I don't think we're going to get the man we need if we just change Ollie now. I think if it was going to happen, if it was going to be a reactionary decision, it would have happened after the Liverpool game at the earliest, but definitely after the City game when we had the international break. I don't think it's going to happen, and I do kind of understand the foresight in that, because if you're looking for 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, rather than just a quick decision, I think Ollie should be gone. I think it has to happen this summer, pretty much no matter what, unless there's a massive turnaround, which isn't going to happen. So I think what we need to happen is get us to the end of the season, as in all the fans should have the mindset of this is an interim manager, okay? Because there's no future after that. Because if we bring someone in, if we sack him, no matter who it is, as an interim manager, they're successful, they will get the job then and will be in the same boat. So we have to look at the Ollie situation now as if what it should have been, is that to get us to the end of the season, hopefully get us top 4, hopefully with this squad. I don't know how he can't, but hopefully get us top 4, and then see him off, and then hopefully get someone. My personal decision is Den Haag from Ajax. I think that's just the next wave. If I had like the ultimate decision, it would be Nagelsmann, but obviously that's gone. But like for me, Den Haag, absolutely give him a chance. I think he's everything that the Glazers would want, but also everything that we would want as well. So I think getting in Zidane would be a massive mistake. I think even getting in Conte would be a massive mistake. I think we have to look for the future and not look for just the next 2 years. And I know, and what people say is consistently is like football has changed. Football now, you look at Chelsea, obviously you might say they're the modern club where they bring in a manager every 2-3 years. They all generally have continued success with that model. I'm just like, well, for me, that's not what I want to see. I want to see, maybe it's not going to be a 27 and a half year run like we had with Sir Alex, but maybe like a 5-year model, just like moving towards that. With a manager like Den Haag, that's the way it goes. With Ollie, there is no future with that, but I genuinely don't think there's any benefit in sacking him, because it's just going to lead to misery in 18 months' time, because no matter who we get right now is not up to the standard of this club. Now, people say Zidane. Sorry, I continue on. Zidane, we know 3 Champions Leagues, 2 La Ligas, a couple of Copa del Reys, whatever. I still don't think he's a standard. I think he will go from Madrid to France to Juventus, and that's going to be his route. He does not want the Premier League, because I think he'll be shown up there. I think he will win trophies, but it's not with us. I think Den Haag is the future, but the future begins in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, Beth, on Zidane, I know you as a Ten Hag fan as well, weren't you, in terms of the managers when we discussed that show about who we wanted to come in. Duncan Castles is saying United are making progress in persuading Zinedine Zidane. He is attracted to the opportunity, he says, to take charge of a squad that contains 2 of his most accomplished Real Madrid players in Cristiano Ronaldo and Rafael Varane. I think that's a lot of bollocks. It sounds like bollocks to me, and not slagging anyone off in that, but that to me just sounds like I said at the start of the show, Beth, everyone's getting a bit bullish now that we know Ollie is going to be in charge. Everyone's coming out with different stories right now, and it's easy to talk about it once a big decision has been made. It does look like the big decision has been made. You spoke to Romano. He pretty much said that, Beth, on your show. We're in until possibly it's mathematically impossible to make top 4.
Yeah.
Or we're out of the Champions League. Nothing's really changed in your mind in terms of what's coming out tonight. Are you sticking with Ole being here until the foreseeable now for you?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like there's always going to be stories that are coming out.
True.
And like there was stories coming out before I even spoke to Romano saying that apparently we've been in contact with Zidane and stuff. And from what I've seen in the past, right, Romano has been quite a reliable journalist on certain things. And when he came on the show after all these rumours have come out and said, well, United have had no contact with Zidane, it just shows a lot of stuff surrounding United. It's been rubbish before, and it can be rubbish again. And I don't see why we'd only just be making contact with Zidane now. If we did want him, we surely would have done it at the start of the international week when Ollie had gone on holiday and stuff like that. You wouldn't start doing it as soon as Ollie comes back to training. So I think what Romano said is true. I think we're going to be in with Ollie until it's mathematically impossible to get top 4, or we drop out of the Champions League. Probably even if we drop out of the Champions League, we'll probably still stick with him. I think what he was trying to say is that it's going to have to be really, really, like we think it's bad now. It's got to have to be seriously bad for Ollie to go. I don't think the Glazers want to pay out. And I also think they don't want to get someone in mid-season. As he said, an interim wasn't an option for Manchester United. They had that option after the Liverpool game. They decided against doing an interim option. So they're going to have to try and get someone mid-season. As he said to us, Brendan Rodgers, he wants the job, but he's in no rush to come. Like, why would he leave Leicester now when he knows he could get the job at the end of the season anyway? Like, he's probably just going to stay there until the end of the season. So I think we are still with Ollie. It's a bit of a weird one for me, because although I want to support the team and although I really want to get behind United and I want them to get top 4, I think that's going to be a struggle now, if I'm honest, but I want us to get top 4. It's hard to really enjoy the games, knowing that we don't know what direction we're going, we don't know who's coming or going, and we don't know what the long-term plan is. Plus, there's obviously these situations where players might want to leave. We might see the end of Donny, see the end of Pogba. Other players that aren't getting enough time are probably going to end up going, and then the players that are left, it's not the same squad depth that you've got now. Also, Ronaldo's time is slowly ticking away. So immediate change would be nice to try and start a new project, start a new path. Ideally, if we would have known what was going to happen, that could have started at the start of the season. It's not happened. I think this season is just going to be one of them where we're kind of in limbo until the next season, then we start the next project, which is a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is, and you've got to try and get behind the team. Hopefully we'll get top 4.
I mean, Alex, you were nodding your head there when Joe was talking about Zidane's credentials, or as much what he would be thinking of his career path from this point. Seems to be a very long break. I mean, I do think that Zidane really does have his eyes on Deschamps' job. I think possibly after the World Cup, is he going to wait that long? I could probably see him waiting that long, to be honest. What's another year? He's young. He's got plenty of time in his managerial career. So, I mean, if this news broke, say, this time last week, Alex, we probably would have been taking it a little bit more seriously, wouldn't we, mate? Because we were all clinging on to something actually happening. We thought it was going to happen. We're now in a situation where I'm sort of more looking towards Watford and how this team performs under Ollie again and what happens next. I mean, is that where you're at now, mate? I don't think anything's going to really persuade us now that something is going to happen, really, is it, mate?
Yeah, first of all, with Duncan Castles, I wouldn't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. He hates United so much because he was Jose's mouthpiece, and then once we got rid of Jose, like, he hated us before we got Jose. Then we got Jose, and he started speaking nice about us constantly. Then we got rid of Jose, and he went back to slating us all the time. So he's just probably doing it to stir the pot. In terms of Zidane, yeah, I think he's going to map out his career perfectly. Just then. Don't get me wrong, his achievements are amazing, but I think he will. If he was to take a job in England, I think it would be the City job rather than United, because I feel like United's too much of a challenge. But I was listening to what Beth said, and it was like so depressing of like thinking like, I can't even now, because we're in November and it's like already over. I can't even get like excited for Premier League games, really, because if you think about it, the best we're hoping for really is fourth, because we're not catching up with Liverpool, City or Chelsea. Yeah. So we're literally just playing fourth. So it's like I'm now in a situation where I'm looking forward more to the FA Cup games, like the Champions League games, because even though it's a very, very slim possibility, we actually have a chance to win some. But how can I get excited about challenging for top 4? Which, if we keep Ollie, it's really not a certainty that we're going to get that. Which, if you would have said that at the start of the season, no one would have ever believed you. I put a tweet out today. So, because I was thinking about it at work, just bored at work, and I was like, I bet you if I look, Watford aren't even that far behind us. And then I looked, and if Watford beat us, which with our current form is a very real possibility, they're 4 points off us. So if you were to say in the summer after getting Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo, that we would be completely out the title race, and that Watford would be 4 points. We'd be going into a game with Watford that they could be 4 points off us if they beat us. And like the fact that his job is safe is like absolutely mind blowing. But like Joe said, if they were going to do it, they would have done it after Liverpool. They would have at max done it after City. But I've said on the show quite a few times, and I looked to get the exact date today at work again, is that I always said that I think that they're eyeing these next 4 games being like, they'll say they'll assume we'll beat Watford, but then we have Chelsea and Arsenal, which will probably lose to both of them. But then after that, we have basically a clear run of like any of the big so-called Big 6 teams all the way until March, which we play City. So that is like a hell of a long time. And they'll think, he can build up a run of games there, which by no means is a certainty. Like the likes of Brentford and stuff along that run could beat us. But I think that that's what the board's looking at. But I was thinking about the interim manager, because I think like the players have clearly stopped playing for him, it seems. But then you run the risk of what Joe was saying again. If we get an interim in that went on a run of games like Ollie did, we'd end up giving him the job as well. Yeah, so if we were a well-run club, I would be 100% behind just getting rid of Ollie and bringing in an interim until the summer to then make a solid decision. But it is too risky to do it just in case we end up. I said before, if like some ex-United player suddenly becomes like a Pep or a Klopp, I'd still be a bit worried about getting them. at United, because it's like we've seen the situation now. They're clearly not going to sack a United legend like with Van Halen, Jose and stuff. They had the pedigree to back up that they potentially could turn it around, but they got nowhere near the time that Ollie's getting in. It's just depressing with the squad we have.
But like the terrifying thing is that like there's obviously we can clearly see there's no plan B on the pitch to begin with, which is awful. But there's also no plan B in the boardroom, because they have not considered whatsoever ever sacking Ollie. From the summer on, there was never a contingency plan. I think Andy Minton was one who was saying that like they're totally sold on the Ollie trip, and they're just like they just don't know what to do. They don't know what to do now that the fact that he's so clearly been shown up. And again, I hate saying this because I absolutely adore the man and I want to support the club in every possible way, but it's just so clear the writing's on the wall. But for the fact that they haven't set up a contingency plan, which they should do, and it's not a disrespect for any manager, but you have to save your asset. You have to be like, how can I best protect this club in case this doesn't work out? Is by looking at these avenues to get someone else in case I need to do that. And they just haven't done that whatsoever. So literally, like, we are stuck between a rock and a hard place. If we sack Ollie, I guarantee you we won't be any better than we keep Ollie. And I'm not saying that's a thing. We should definitely keep Ollie. I just think no matter what, until the end of the season, we are FUCK and the rest of that word, okay? Joy.
You can sometimes get a new manager bounce. That's the only thing.
I agree with that. I completely agree with that. But the problem is, it's the new manager bounce, and we got that under Ollie, is that when we lose that bounce and then we realize, the manager isn't actually as good as we think. Because I know we're being led to believe that Brendan Rodgers is this, he can do it. Brendan Rodgers is a B-level manager no matter what, okay? I still think he's a great coach, and I think if he came in, he'd do a good job. But I'm not going to take a B-level Liverpool ex-manager just because our current one is terrible. Okay, it's not gonna, for me, that just doesn't fly. We need to move past that to get someone who will actually come in and can make us compete. Like Rodgers
on this then, it's like realistically, I don't see any interim manager coming in now.
That manager we should get in as an interim.
Lazza,
So why not? Why not?
I'm looking at it now. I've succumbed. I've just given up hope on anyone else coming in now, and I'm literally looking at the season now. I was doing like what you were doing, Alex. I'm looking at the games going ahead, and I'm thinking, and you said then we've got a clear run of the top six, so-called top six teams after what Arsenal, you can even call them, and Chelsea. But mate, I'm looking at Brentford getting players back. I'm looking at Dean Smith at Norwich, both away from home, and I'm shitting my pants, mate. I've got zero confidence in this team. I mean, Beth, is there a case here for him just saying, look, we know it doesn't get any worse than this, but it's like the players have to come back here now. And it just looks like, I said, it's like a chef in the kitchen who just threw all the ingredients in a pan and just hoping something's going to come out of it. And we're going to end up getting through the rest of this season. It is just all pure hope for me. I mean, how these players come back now, Beth, I mean, I've got no idea. I cannot say what is going to happen. I don't know how things can change under Ole. And every United fan who talks to me, and probably you as well, and you guys, they just don't know anymore. They've lost interest in it because we've got nothing to follow in terms of a plan going forward. And I mean, Beth, looking at these games now coming up, I just don't see where any change is coming from because of the players and the way they are. I mean, can you see Ollie doing anything different to change this around at all?
I honestly have no idea how it's going to go. To be honest with you, I'm usually quite positive, but I don't think it's going to go great.
No title challenge, Beth, no?
No. Honestly, like naively as it was, I was so excited for the start of this season.
I was with you.
It wasn't naive after the window.
It wasn't, Beth.
I backed Ollie over the summer, and when everyone was saying Ollie out at the start of, like at the end of after the Europa League, I said, you know what? Like he ended up getting second in the league. He has improved. We got to the final. We got to semi-final last year. Obviously, I was gutted about the final, but I thought, do you know what? He needs another transfer window, maybe another 2 transfer windows. Get his full squad together and see what he can do. That transfer window in the summer was obviously unreal. So you think to yourself, right, he's got some seriously decent players in here. Let's see what he can do. There should be a game plan going forward. I was very confused we didn't get a CDM because I wondered how Pogba was going to fit into the team. But I thought, do you know what? We'll just see what happens. I 100% didn't think we'd start the season going with McFred in midfield. And obviously, we've seen over the course of the season that they're not the main issue. They're one of the issues, but there's issues all over the pitch. And you've just seen from the start of the season, apart from maybe the Leeds game, that the coaching staff have had absolutely no idea how to put all of these players together. They don't have a clue what formation they want to go with. I think Ollie does want to go with a 4-2-3-1, but he's had to revert to the back five because he was doing so poorly defensively. He can't get his defence together. He wants to play attacking, but he can't balance his midfield. He's got no clue. And I think to myself, what have you worked on? What have you done in the summer? Because surely you should have a plan of how you're going to play over the course of the season. But what Ollie does is every week he thinks about what opposition he's playing and he tries to kind of go off that, and he tries to go so he changes it every single game. Like, for example, the Liverpool game, we were pressing so high, but they'd not fully learned how to press properly. That could have been done in the summer. You could have learned some games we're going to have to press. We'll learn exactly how we're going to do this. Some games are not. I'd be okay with that if we knew what we were doing properly. But because we're so all over the show, I think every single system or every single thing, what game plan he tries to do, the players just haven't had enough time to work on it, and they don't know what they're doing because it changes every single week. He needs to know exactly how he's going to play. He needs to coach everyone in the positions. Everyone should know what position they're playing week in, week out. And they should know who they're passing to. They should know who they're going to help out defensively, the same way that all the top teams in the league do, and a lot of the teams in the league do. We're talking about Brentford then. They have a cohesive style of play. They might not be the best team in the league, but every player knows what they're doing. And that's the problem. None of the players know what they're doing. And I just don't think Ollie is good enough to balance a squad of that many good talents and be able to say to people, these are your positions, this is what you're doing, and drill it into everyone. I think maybe I thought so many times he just doesn't have tactics, but surely he has to have some sort of tactics. I just don't think he's very good at getting it into the players. Sometimes you can have all the knowledge in the world, but passing it down to the players and making it work, you just can't do. And I don't think he can do that. And so I don't see it. Like, it would have happened by now if he could have turned it around. Do you think he wanted to lose against Liverpool? Do you think he wanted to lose against City? Do you think he wanted to lose to Aston Villa? Obviously he didn't. He just doesn't have the capability to turn it around. So I don't see any hope, or else we would have done what we did last season, which is start poorly and then manage to go on a run of games. But that would have happened by now if it was going to happen for me. So
yeah, you're not the only fan. You're not the only one saying that, Beth. Yeah. You're really not. I mean, Alex, is there a case here that Ollie didn't think he was coming back off this holiday? Because Beth touched on then, you get a chance to work on tactics. You need to work on a press. You need to have a get out of jail in a game. You need a plan B. He was bemoaning last season's fixture pile-up and not having time with the players on the training ground, mate. We had a big squad still back at Carrington that he decided to give the option to go on holiday or train. He went on holiday himself. So everything he said last season is completely been thrown up in the air again. It makes him sound stupid. But really, that to me makes it look like I think he thought he was done, mate. I looked at the press conferences after the game against City. I then seen nothing of him and him going away. No one said anything. I mean, was there a case here to say, look, even Ollie probably thought he was coming back to nothing?
I thought he sounded like in the press conferences that he's clearly been given assurances that he was going to stay, just by how he was talking and like saying, "Oh, we're going to turn it around like next game."
I just don't believe him when he talks now.
Yeah, I always used to watch his press conferences and stuff. I don't watch them anymore. But the sending them off on a week, it just absolutely blew my mind, because I was thinking before, okay, this is a chance for Van der Beek and like Sancho to impress him. Rashford came back. I think Shaw did, Greenwood's there. Like there was actually a lot of like the big names that a lot of the times wouldn't actually be there.
Lingard.
Yeah, so he had enough big names that you could run a session. It isn't like it was going to be like all the kids, and maybe he just wanted them to get away, like reset their like bearings, and then come back with like a new refreshed attitude. That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe take some time off to get a bit refreshed. He's probably hoping that some people gain confidence in the international break, like he's probably hoping Maguire did with his goals. And that's the only logic I can see to it, because otherwise, but you have to think in this time now that the 2 weeks by the time we play them, Watford wouldn't have been going on holiday. They wouldn't have had that many players away on international duty. They've been preparing the entire time for a team. We've seen how many times, if any team has any sort of game plan to play against us, it doesn't matter if they're Watford, it doesn't matter. Like teams like Villarreal, they're like 13th in La Liga. They we beat them, but they absolutely played us off the park. Atalanta did as well. Any team that has any sort of like smart tactics, we're so easy to play against.
On that, Alex, I remember posting it on our group, and I said bottom of the league table in form was Aston Villa. Fair enough, sack your manager. 1 win in 6, mate. Guess who that win came against? Oh, no, and they sacked their manager. So it's like, oh. God,
but it's like the thing is as well, it isn't even just like the results and the performances. The biggest worry for me is the clean sheets of how many. What is it now? Like two in like 20 odd,
25,
and it's
24.
under Ollie's entire reign. We've had like 1 clean sheet in the Champions League, and it's okay. We did play like some decent teams like Leipzig and PSG, but if you put Chelsea against these teams, Liverpool against these teams, like on that top of the on that clean sheet thing that we put in the chat as well. Arsenal were top of the clean sheets in that time, and Arsenal were wanting their manager sacked at the start of the season. And now if Arteta can organise the defence, we should, on paper, we have a better defence than Arsenal.
Yeah.
And it's like to not be able to even keep half as many clean sheets as them. It's like, it's mind blowing.
But my worry is, and I always kind of give Ollie a huge amount of credit for like making players feel better about them and making them play out of their skin for him because they like him and he fills them with confidence. But why is Harry Maguire? I realize it's Albania and whoever was San Marino, but during the Euros, he was magnificent. Do you know?
He got team of the tournament.
Yeah, and not just Harry Maguire. You look across the board of United players. Luke Shaw, of course. Well, we can give Ollie a lot of credit for Luke Shaw last season as well, of course. But like you look at it now, and I've always thought as Ollie, when we're playing well, like he can maintain that. That's why we had the incredible away record. That's why we have these random spurts where we might go 18 games out losing or whatever. And you're like, magnificent. But then when things go bad, it's just so bad for so long. And you're like, it's like 2 spurts at a time. You get one great run of positivity and one negativity. And he seems to struggle to get the players into a good mindset because there was no reason. I understand that even if all our players are fit and playing well, that we mightn't be just at the level of maybe Man City yet. You know, because they've obviously been implementing this idea for years and years.
Joe, it's false hope, mate. I'm telling you now, because I remember talking after the Newcastle game, and all you could hear on my fan vlog was Viva Ronaldo, and I was just stood there and I'm going, we were shit. We were absolute dog shit. And Ronaldo's bailed us out. And I put the video back up on my Instagram the other day, and I went, do you know what? I had no idea at the time how right and how long this was going to carry on. Yeah. And literally every single game has been on a knife edge. We've never controlled one game apart from Leeds. And at one point when they got that equaliser, it was very close. We'd never, I mean, you could say Spurs, but if Son scores that chance, I do think we're losing that game as well. Yeah. And you know what? Ricky's a big one for us. I mean, the games we've won, I mean, literally, guys, we're struggling to score more than 1 goal in a game in the league apart from Spurs. And it's just horrendous football, even when we're winning. It's sort of lucky.
I'm not a big fan of like if X wasn't playing, like where would you be, blah, blah, blah. Because then I think, okay, another player would come in and you have 11 players. But with the Champions League, with Ronaldo, he's scoring like chances that aren't even half chances. They're like ridiculous chances that only like him and Messi could score. And so like if we wouldn't have had like his, and that's not even like 1 goal, that's happened like numerous times. So if we didn't have Ronaldo, we'd be bottom of this group, probably even below Young Boys.
Beth, on this, I mean, sorry, Beth, I'll bring you into this one actually because it goes into it. But you've probably seen the videos back. Mark Robins' goal at the City ground, saving Ferguson. Cristiano Ronaldo's goal in the last minute of injury time against Atalanta. For me, that's what saved Ole, that goal. I really do think the Champions League gone. It was just too much to take. Just go into that, Beth, and obviously what you were going to say then as well.
I was just going to say then that the only reason we were still in the Champions League and not in the Europa League was because of Ronaldo. It was weird. It was like he literally has this power that he was thinking to himself, I have not been in the Europa League this season. And he's managed to he's done it with a few teams before. He just manages to pull you through no matter what. And a lot of them teams we really didn't deserve to beat Villarreal the first time. I'm nervous for that second game as well. Very nervous with the form we're in. Atalanta, we were lucky to get a draw and lucky to win in the end. They did play very, very well. And I just think this is the point that you're talking about. Even when we win games, it's never really convincingly. And we never play well to get we'll have that moment where we score a great goal, but then the rest of the game, it's just like extremely boring to watch. So, or we'll make stupid mistakes. And I think in this team, what it is they don't really have the basics right at all. Like, we don't know basics, how to press, how to drop, how to positionally be aware, who's your defensive partner, all these stuff that I've talked about so many times. Like, the basics we just don't have. Like, sometimes I look at Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka and they don't know whether to get forward or whether to just turn back. Like, it's like they're nervous, they don't know what to do, and they should be so assured in the position, and we've just not got that nailed on. And I think that's where we playing badly in these games, but still managing to like kind of get some goals here and there comes from. But then talking about the Champions League, he 100%, like, I know Romano said it has to be like really bad for him to get sacked now, but that would have been ridiculously bad because the Europa League again would have just been torture for all the United fans. And plus the players you've brought in, it's so embarrassing. You've brought in Ronaldo, Sancho and Varane, who are all big names in the Champions League, and they're going into playing Europa League football Thursday nights. It's just draining for everyone, and to do it again, to get knocked out in the Champions League group stages again, I mean, no disrespect because them teams should have beat us, but quite a poor group. Like last year, Istanbul was the reason we got knocked out. Like it just shows you're lacking the basics and you're lacking the know-how of how to win. Ronaldo's got that know-how of how to win. We've seen that, but I don't think Ollie's got it. Like, maybe in his playing career, absolutely, but in a managerial role, he's not got it, and that's why we're falling short at so many occasions. Even the Europa League final, we should have won that, but we fell short again.
That's it. I mean, guys, it does look like that is the only way we're going to go forward this season, with scraping wins here and there wherever we can. Alex's couch is lovely. Yes, it is.
It's a very nice couch.
Yeah, it looks comfy as well, mate. It does. But I mean, on this, looking at it, if there's going to be I do think that a change is coming. Obviously, I think it's an obvious. Ollie's done this season, no matter when. It's a matter of when. It may just be prolonged more, but looking at that and then the possibility of managers and who is available. I mean, I've been told by someone close at Ajax that they just don't want to do business with United now after what's happened with Donny van der Beek. This is a club that pride themselves on bringing through the best talent. This is a club that pride themselves on bringing in players through their youth setup and everything like that. I mean, why would Ten Hag come to Manchester United? That's what I was saying on the show the other day. That's the sort of point I'm getting at. The realistic targets then we have to look at. Ten Hag we all want, but honestly, I don't know.
Can I just make a point? Ten Hag would be mad not to come to United. I think that's
a lot of people would say that, Joe.
No, I think genuinely.
I don't think he would be.
No, I think Ajax are doing a smart business move by saying, of course, we're not going to give you Ten Hag. So then they can just
but if
there's a clause in if they can make as much money out of allowing United to speak to him and then selling on the manager, then why wouldn't they? Because they know the Glazers will just throw stupid money if they just makes the problem go away. So I don't think there's any issue there. I think then
would you not if you were Ten Hag knowing that in 2023 Pep Guardiola is leaving City, would you not wait a year?
Yes,
that's a great point.
Well, no, maybe it's City, but I also think that a manager like Ten Hag might look at United the same way that Jurgen Klopp looked at Liverpool, as being a sleeping giant and somewhere where
that's what we all hope, mate.
But what I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, at the same time, you look at Manchester United's past with managers since Fergie left. I mean, it's not a great track record, and a few big names have come in there, managers that you thought would have ended up doing well. And like, for example, if you look at all of them managers, like since he left United, the careers have gone down. They've had to bring it all the way back up. And for him, who's doing so well now in the manager space, to come to United and for it to fail, it would take him quite to get back up there. But also, it could be the other end. He could go really well. So
but on the manager you're saying, David Moyes, we know is a mistake now, and we won't say it took him so long to get back up to the level at West Ham, because maybe no matter who he was at, whether he stayed at Everton, he might have never gotten up to this stage, other than maybe right now. Van Gaal,
he got sacked 3 times after.
And then with Van Gaal, end of his career. Mourinho was a dead duck after Madrid. If we're going to get him, it should have been post Ferguson. And Ollie, obviously, we can look now and say interim perfect. After that, it should have been someone else. With Den Haag, he looks at United. No matter what City do, they will never, ever, ever be at the same level as Manchester United. No matter what.
Yes.
Financially,
But they
maybe
can still
one day.
attract managers over.
No. But like, if you look at Den Haag, okay, he can come to United, and everything's in system for him to do what he wants to do. Promote youth, spend wisely, and he'll be backed. You know, he will be backed.
Do you know what? That for me on that point, I would think Ten Hag would want United to implode before he came through. Because look at the amount of kids that are being blocked at the moment from the sheer number of, you could say deadwood. They are, I don't actually call them deadwood anymore, apart from Jones. But you know what I mean? The Matiches, the Donnies, the Sanchos, all these players who can't get in the team and might not be here. The Lingard's blocking the youth players through. I mean, maybe 2 years down the time might be perfect for Ten Hag when United have just completely imploded. I mean, that might be the better way, but
I would also say that I don't necessarily, just because the City job might be available, like, don't necessarily mean City would want to go for him, because City aren't desperate for a manager like that. But but like, you think as a football fan they would, but they will generally probably go for a more sexier option. You know, someone with a pedigree.
Although he is actually quite a sexy option though.
He's more of a hipster option.
Style with them players though would work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's like a ready-made replacement for Pep.
You look at it now. You talk about the sexy options there; they're all gone. There's no one there. I mean, Enrique wears a nice pair of cards. I mean, he looks all right, doesn't he, on the eye? I don't know. But do you know what I mean? Everyone's already gone now. So it's going to be really interesting how all of these teams all move on. There's got to be a new one. There's someone new coming through. Ten Hag looks like he's the real deal.
We're after Rodgers, you know.
No.
I mean, on that, Beth, actually, I mean, we all accept that United are going to battle our way through the season and it's going to be horrible. We may be surprised, and I'll be bouncing around with everyone if I am surprised and hold my hand up if I'm completely wrong. I won't be. But at the end of the season, it looks like we're going to be a United setup. For me, Rodgers or Pochettino look like they would be front runners for Manchester United in the way we work. Poch or Rodgers, Beth, for you, at the end of the season, going into a full pre-season, which one of them two would you take? Because I see United going down this road personally.
It's not a very exciting road to go down. Both of them aren't really. I'd prefer Ten Hag and Zidane to both of them, to be honest with you. But Ten Hag's obviously everyone's top option. But it's just like with Rodgers or Poch, it doesn't really excite me. Like I just don't think there's like. The good managers, don't get me wrong, but you just want someone like, you know what I mean, in that bracket. But if I was going to pick one of them, I'd pick Rodgers, to be honest. As everyone always says, Beth, why are you so against Poch? I'm not 100% against Poch, but if we did get Poch, I'd be a little bit disappointed. I just think with Poch, if you can't do it in that league with them players, like, you're not going to be able to come in and do it at United with them players. Like, I mean, I know he did well with Tottenham and he did very well to get that Tottenham team playing. He had very little money and he got to a Champions League final. Like, he did very, very well. But at the same time, he should have won the league to Leicester and he bottled it. Like, he's just not a winner in my eyes. I don't see him winning big things. And I feel like he could have gone to PSG and really made an impact. I mean, we've still got the Champions League to see, but if he don't win the Champions League with that squad, I'd be disappointed if I was PSG owners, because that squad is ridiculous. So for me, I prefer Rodgers if I was going to have to pick, because I think he's done it with, for example, this Leicester squad. He's brought all the players through very well, and I think he plays good football. And for me, it's just a favourable option to Pochettino.
But like Poch, sorry,
Joe. I mean, them two names that I mentioned, going off what you said before, would send you into depression, mate. Really,
yeah.
But, I mean,
but guys, hold on for 1 second, okay? But Poch is still manager of PSG. Poch, I don't know why. I don't understand why he's been linked with us. He's been manager for just over a year. He's got the best squad in world football, and he will win the league.
Because he's going to get sacked in the summer. Because if he doesn't win the Champions League with Messi underperforming, then he's going to get sacked, and they'll get someone in that can get the best out of Messi.
But see, the thing is, there is literally no reason why he can't win the Champions League. Okay, we all know in the Champions League group stage does not matter because the same teams go through to the last 16. I think it's like a 98% success rate. They go through, so they know they don't need to perform 100% all the time. They still beat City, and Messi was outstanding when he beat City. So there's literally no reason when they get to the last 16 onwards that he can't win the Champions League, and then we're just left with Rodgers. If I had a choice between Rodgers and Poch, there was no doubt in my mind that I want Poch. I completely respect everything you said there about what you're saying about Poch, but you can say the exact same thing about Rodgers. He bottled it consistently with Liverpool and with Leicester.
Right, with Liverpool,
You can't call Liverpool bottling.
that's just like
okay, but also bad math. You go into the game of Crystal Palace. They need instead of going, because we know. Okay, everyone, no, hold on.
That Brendan Rodgers has got compared to what Pochettino has. Like, come on, and he's not doing well in League One with that squad. It's a Farmers League. Yeah, they're still going to win it.
What do you mean? They're 10 points clear.
Yeah, but because it's a Farmers League. Have you seen the results that they've had?
You mean winning consistently?
Yeah, they're playing bottom of the league teams, and Mbappe's had to bail them out in like the 92nd minute. They've been drawing.
But they're still 10 points clear because the top-eared management, they're like, you're going to win this league anyway, just focus on the Champions League. That's literally their modus operandi. They don't shit again. And the thing is, you buy Messi not to win the Liga. You buy Messi to win the Champions League. If they don't win the Champions
League.
Well, that's what my argument is, okay? But there's a reason why. Why was it when PSG were looking for a manager, why didn't they go for Brendan Rodgers? Right? Why Brendan Rodgers is not a good enough manager for Manchester United, and is genuinely embarrassing if he coaches us. He is definitely an upgrade, Nolly, 100%. I don't doubt that at all. He is an ex-Liverpool manager where he failed at Liverpool. We can't look past that. No matter how we want to step to the side and say, oh, we can't, like, he's still a good coach, blah, blah, blah. I do not want someone that was hailed as a hero at Liverpool for a short time to do anything with us.
I do agree with the fact that I don't think he's good enough for United. I agree with that. I don't think he's good enough for United, but I also don't think Poch is as good as what everyone's made him out to be over the past few years. I really don't.
This is it. Do you know what? After all of this, guys, the conversation between Poch and Rodgers just shows you exactly how United operate. It just shows you how United operate and the mediocrity running through the club right now. I do feel like whenever any real good manager's been available, United just haven't even been at the table. And you could say that's bad luck.
No,
you could say that's just United strategically positioning themselves like we're not interested in anyone. Adam, this is how we are now. We run.
Adam, 2013, we could have had Klopp. We could have had Mourinho after Ferguson left, and we settled. We settled for Moyes because it was a better story.
He tried to get Klopp apparently, and Dortmund didn't let us speak to him.
No, Klopp said the proposal wasn't sexy enough. That's what his direct quote was. It wasn't a sexy enough approach from Edward.
It wasn't rock and roll enough. It wasn't rock and roll. It wasn't rock and roll. Anyway, guys, moving on to back on.
Adam, can I just bring in one point?
Fire away.
I feel like I'm backing Rodgers a lot here, but I do think he's been slated quite hard. He did beat Tuchel in an FA Cup final, like he did. And Tuchel is a very good manager.
I think a lot of the thing, and it does happen quite often as well, is that I feel like if Rodgers was like, something like we say about the sexiness, if he was like Spanish or something and had the same career achievements, I think people would rate him higher. It's because he's like Northern Irish and stuff. It's not like a sexy type thing. I think
is there a case to say that these managers are all overrated? Because we're talking about Tuchel here, and Tuchel wasn't top table manager until he won the Champions League.
Well, so I don't agree with that.
Where would you rate Tuchel if he didn't win the Champions League? Where would you rate him? Like Beth said, then he lost to Rodgers in a final. If he didn't win that final against City, how would you rate him now? Would you put him in the same bracket as Rodgers and Pochettino?
No, higher.
Why?
Because he did it consistently across the board. He had PSG playing great football, got them to a Champions League final where they were.
I wouldn't say great because we beat him twice.
But we also lost to him.
With Ole.
Yeah.
We lost to him when Fred got sent off though.
Yeah. Again, we have to.
Oh, that was Ole.
Slay Fred, man. Yeah. But again.
Yeah, exactly. We're better, won't we? I thought.
Yeah.
But again, when it comes down to getting, like, even if getting Chelsea to an FA Cup final and a Champions League final and getting them top four from the position that they were in, like, there's no doubt in my mind that he is a top tier manager. I think he's slightly underrated because he took a sort of similar career path as Klopp, but didn't have the success because Klopp won the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich in 2010 and 2011 when Bayern Munich were dead, so it wasn't that great of an achievement. So obviously Tuchel didn't have that same level of success, but still like making players far better than what they were, and then kind of always being a general success and doing quite well, and then coming to Chelsea and doing what he did. Even if he lost both of them, he's still ahead of the two of them. Like, there's just,
and his name sounds sexier as well.
It is. It is, and that's it. And that's something.
Yeah, that's it.
If he lost both of them, he'd still be ahead of him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
On what?
Based on what the stuff at Dortmund, because the PSG stuff, he did like the same as Poch getting to a final and losing.
He played at Chelsea and the way he's got Chelsea playing, but before that, I never thought anything.
No, but we're talking about
Chelsea fans didn't. But like loads of Chelsea fans were complaining about getting it. I mean, obviously they're over the moon.
If I can repeat the question, it was if he lost the Champions League final, would I put him as ahead of Brendan Rodgers? And absolutely, because he got Chelsea there from the position they were in January. Got that team turned around, and you can say,
but that's happened so many times with Chelsea because they always like backstab the manager, but then they have so many Premier League winners in that team that obviously it's still impressive what they did, but it's like turning that Chelsea team around. It's like different. Like if we're like a manager, like say a Tuchel would have come into United and then turned us into like league challengers. It's different than because we don't have any players like obviously you have Ronaldo and stuff, but we don't have any people that have been there and done that. Whereas Chelsea, you have so many of them.
But
like,
they were
the spine of their team are all like champions.
In that final as well, it was only like a last second VAR decision that stopped Chelsea from drawing that game. And again, the argument is if he lost that final, but like he won the final, so therefore, and he won it quite comfortably.
I'm finishing this talk because it's winding me up now because I know we've still got Ole.
It's your fault, Adam.
You know what? You start talking and you realise you're not talking about your club and you just go, oh. Yeah. Okay, moving on though. But guys, I just want to bring up this. I did this the other day on my socials. It was interesting to see how many people changed. I want to talk about the divide, how Ollie is sort of so far away from what the fans think. I mean, the fans are not stupid. We know what we're watching. Obviously, we do our shows, guys, and we see the players on the pitch underperforming, still getting in the team. I'm going to put a team out in front of you all now. So this is what I think. No matter what, Ollie will revert to, which is De Gea in goal. It'll be Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Varane, and Luke Shaw. The midfield two.
Or in general?
No. This is just what he would pick when the chips are down, because we're going to be battling with this team through the rest of the season. So that's your back four, including the keeper, back four and keeper. Fred and McTominay as the holding two. Then we'll have Bruno in front of Rashford, Greenwood, and Ronaldo. That's how I think Ollie would go when he wanted a result. Now, I want each of you to tell me which one of them players, judging off what you've seen, if you were picking a team, players' form, attitude, everything like that, how many of them would you agree with in that formation? I can't change the formation because I know Ollie's going to go with it. So I had 7 different players in my team.
Is this everyone in their current form or playing at their best?
As it is now, as we're watching it, mate, because we're watching the same thing that Ollie is, and this is how far away the fans are.
Makes it
and a lot of the pundits are away from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Okay. So you've got everyone. You've seen how Eric Bayer's come in, for example, and played. Use all of this. I mean, Alex, just on the back four alone, mate, what would you be playing right now off current form?
Yeah, on current form, I dropped Shaw and Maguire for Tellez, and when he's at his best, Bailly, I would take over Lindelof, but he can be a bit erratic, so I'll probably just play it safe and say Lindelof. If we had I don't think like I do rate Wan-Bissaka, but I don't think he's been that impressive this season. He's just kind of been like a bit like meh. But we don't have anyone to bring in over him. But Laird looks like he's developing quite well. But at the moment,
this week as well.
Yeah, at the moment it would have to be in the back four. Just take out Maguire and Shaw for Tellez and Lindelof.
I mean, Beth back four.
And I don't want to hear anyone bringing in dropping De Gea for he who will not be named.
The thing is, I agree with Alex enough that in bad form, and I think he needs to be dropped for 1 or 2 games just to make him realise. But overall, I wouldn't.
Who is that, Beth?
Sure, overall, I wouldn't drop him over Tellers if I had to pick.
Yeah, this is the thing. So we're looking at it, and we're seeing players come out like Tellers. Yeah,
because I do want Tellers to get more of a chance, but my first choice would always be Shaw because I think he's better.
Yeah, well, we're seeing it now as fans right now. We're seeing Ollie say things like he wants every single player ready towards the end of the season to go. And then you're hearing like what Mark was saying earlier on today about players kicking up a stink because they were promised things in the summer. We're seeing all of this. And right now our form at this exact moment is what I want you to judge it off. And it's like maybe a Shaw needs a rest, but we know Ollie's not going to. Your mic is off, Beth.
Sorry, at this exact moment, I would drop Shaw for Tellers. And I would drop Maguire. It's a hard one because, like Alex said, I do want to bring Bailly in, but it just depends on what occasion it would be. To be honest, you know what? I probably would actually bring Bailly in. You know what? I would, because I think I would have to trust him. And I thought the way he played in, was it the Atalanta game?
Yeah,
was
so good.
Phenomenal. So I think I would drop. I would drop him for him in that situation, and I think Maguire desperate needs dropping. I wouldn't drop Wan-Bissaka because Dalot's not better than him. Like, it's just facts, he's not. Are we just doing defence for now?
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah. I mean, Joe.
Yeah, for myself, it's looking like I said before, a massive mistake that we didn't get Kieran Trippier as right back cover, because Wan-Bissaka we know how good he is. Genuinely, I think on his day, he's the best defensive right back in the world, but he has not been good enough this season. So if I could drop him, I would, but we can't. And it's not even a case of dropping for the whole season. Just they need a break. Maguire needs a break, and so does Luke Shaw. They just need to take the pressure off them. You know?
Yeah,
I think Shaw at least has had a break because he didn't play for England, did he, with the concussion? So he'd have had 2 weeks off. So hopefully he gets back to his best now.
Exactly that. I mean,
completely. We're just saying for now, like,
something wrong with your mic, Beth. And then she's like, I think she's swearing right now, but okay.
I don't think you need a professional lip reader for that.
Anyway, I wouldn't do it permanently, but for now, they need showing that they can be dropped.
Yeah.
But yeah.
True. On Varane being back in training, guys, do you think Ollie's going to rush him back in?
Yes.
Is he? Oh, awesome.
He's back in training.
Yeah.
Light training.
If he was missing a leg, he'd still try to play it, you know?
God, I know. That's embarrassing, isn't it, when you've got the other players there, like Bailly and Lindelof.
I think that's a huge reason why Maguire. Yeah, I think that's a huge reason why Maguire's form has dropped off. I think Maguire is psychologically, he's a bit. This sounds bad when I say psychologically damaged. I don't mean it in like a permanent way, but I mean like when he's down and when the fans are on his back, I think he really feels it, and that's why he plays so well for England, and that's why he does play really well for us when things are going well. But he did not play fit for so long, and then he got himself into a funk, and he finds it really, really difficult to get out of it. But you have to hope when he's playing for England, that he got the two. Did he get 2 goals?
Yeah, 2 goals.
Yeah, 2 goals and playing
did
well.
We all look all right on that pick then, Beth? Yeah.
I saw one of the comments. I just wanted to send it to someone because it's really funny.
Right. Okay. Who's going to start me in the midfield? Joe, start us in midfield. 2 holding midfielders, mate.
Jesus.
We have to stick to that formation.
Yeah, you have to.
We've got to stick to it because this is all there. You know what I mean? It's all the players know, isn't it? Really. So
the thing is, like, I want obviously to drop the 2 of them. Obviously, but I just don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? Like I say every week, I'm like, yeah, throw Matic and Donny in there, or Matic and Pogba. Yes, they should play there. But like that's on my preference. But Ollie, no matter how they play, seem to play exactly how he wants them to play. So why not just keep? If it's going to be that system, just keep doing it with them because they make me miserable. But maybe I like the misery. I would change them. I would absolutely change them. I'd change them immediately, but I just don't know what to change them in that system.
That's because we haven't seen anyone play or anyone else get a chance to play.
Yeah, yes.
And we just don't know ourselves. For me, I would be playing Matic and Donny. That's what I would play them too.
I would absolutely play that, but it's just not going to happen.
I just want us to be able to control the ball. I don't want tacklers. I don't think you need tacklers in the modern game right now. You need to be able to control the ball and take it under pressure. Beth, would you change that midfield to anyone else?
Yeah, I would. I'd change it to Matic and Donny, I think. I would even be tempted to play. I could be tempted to play Donny with either Fred or McTominay, one of them. It's at some point, but just to get Donny used to that role and like adjusted to it, I'd play him with Matic next to him.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, everyone says, I bet, you know what? I bet if you interviewed Matic, people, if you actually asked him the question, can you play 2 games a week? He'll say, yeah. It's just this perception that everyone's got that he's old and he can't do it. I mean, look what we've got up front. We've got Cavani and Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? We're relying on them at the moment. So why can't we rely on Matic? I mean, I'd take Matic over Fred and McTominay all day. If you had to play 2 games a week, I'd still prefer Matic than Fred or McTominay in the team. That's where I'm at with it. Bruno, obviously. Does anyone want to take Bruno out?
I don't want to take him out, but I don't want to take him out.
Is there a shout for Lingard? Is there a shout for Mato?
No.
Well, the one person, it would just depend on who's in form at that time. But when he first came in and Pogba was playing further forward, I think Pogba can actually do a role there because I don't trust him deeper with when he dawdles on the ball and then loses possession and then it leads to them getting in a sack. But if Bruno got injured or something, my choice would be to play Pogba there. But I do think Lingard could come in. Like I don't like Van de Beek that in that sort of 10 role, but I think Lingard. I don't get there's all those stories coming out that he was again another player that was promised chances and like when he's played he he messed up against young boys but he got that goal against West Ham, he got like an assist in I can't remember what game and off like very little play time and then he just vanishes again and doesn't get a chance. It's weird.
That's it. Beth, hit me with a front 3.
With the front 3 that I would play?
Yes.
I would play
off form and what you think might work and who sort of can come in and do a better job with another player next to him, maybe like a different combination.
Yeah, I also agree with Alex that if the next choice after Bruno would be Pogba, I'd like to see him play that role just to see what he could do because he's not had that 10 role in so long. But my front 3 starting would be Sancho on the right, Ronaldo up front, and Rashford on the left, I think. And then I would bring Cavani on every single game, whether it's playing Ronaldo or Cavani up front together, or whether it's you know how we did. What game was it where we played them and they actually did really well together?
Spurs,
yeah. Well, no, there was another one where they came into the front 3 because I would still play the front 3, but we had to bring Cavani on, whether we bring him or not.
Would that be the second half against Villarreal?
Yeah, it might have been, and we were just throwing everything but the kitchen sink at it. But I do think Cavani does definitely need to play. He's one of my favourite players at United. The only reason he's not getting in is because Ronaldo is just like Ronaldo. And then also Greenwood as well. Like I love Greenwood and I think he can definitely give us something. But I think at this point he shouldn't be just constantly playing right wing. I'd like to see him play up front some games possibly. If he has to, or rotate with Rashford maybe, because I do think Sancho deserves to nail down that right spot. That's why he was bought.
I mean, Alex, Martial coming in at any point in this or anyone like that?
No, not because it's based off current form, but I would have Sancho on the right and then it'll be controversial to do it, but I'd put Cavani on the left just because he has played a big chunk of his career at PSG. He had played out wide, but it would be like an interchanging front 3 of him and Ronaldo because Ronaldo always drifts left anyway. But I feel like you have to get Cavani and Ronaldo are our best 2 attackers, so you have to fit them in the same team. And it's like Cavani is so like important to the team, and I just always start him and I feel like Rashford, since he's come back, when he started games he hasn't been that good, but when he's come off the bench he's been brilliant. So I just start Cavani and then bring Rashford on later for Cavani.
You know what? I've just seen in the comments someone say, obviously, Martial has not been great for ages, but they'd like to see Martial on the left and Sancho on the right. To be fair, I would like to see him given a chance on the left with Sancho because I think with his technical ability, I think that could be a good team to play when we're trying to break down a low block. But it just depends.
I mean, Joe, Martial and Sancho. Both been on holiday. Would that be a reason for you? Nice and fresh, tanned up. You know what I mean? It's just for me. It's crazy how these players have been on a jolly. Well, other players have been playing and busting.
I say fair play to them. Fair play to them. They deserve a break. I might have to freeze them.
Okay. Fair play to Joe for turning into a Dalek.
know what's going on.
Am I back? Is my back?
Yeah.
Am I back? Am I back? Oh, sorry, that was weird.
Yes, you are, mate. You are. Go for it.
Thank God for that. Fair play to Martial and Sancho going on holiday. They deserve it. For me, my front three is, I'd love to say Sancho. I really have a lot of faith in him. I think he will come good, but it's Greenwood on the right, it's Pogba on the left, and it's Cavani up front. Is my three. Because
Ronaldo,
No, Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo, I love Ronaldo. I'm going to get a lot of stick for this and going to be consistent. But I do feel that Ronaldo, and I think Cavani's movement is far more important to us and what we want to play than Ronaldo is. I think we can swap them around. Ronaldo is the sub that comes on at 65, 70 minutes rather than Cavani. I think it's great to have both options, but I just think Cavani is a better footballer right now, and we need footballers to lead the line. I think Pogba played his best football on the left, and I think that Greenwood has been started the season on fire and it's just been forgotten about. So that's why I think. I'd be in the.
I feel like saying Cavani's a better footballer than Ronaldo is quite controversial.
Joe's dropping a bomb right at the end of the show there, man.
Has to be done. Has to be done. Yeah.
He's not Cavani is such a great player. His movement's amazing, but Ronaldo's finishing. He scored goals out of nothing.
Oh no, I know that, but I hold on to a little bit of the thing that maybe Ronaldo is slightly a problem as to why we aren't playing as well as a unit. I realise that he's scoring as many goals as he did with.
I used to say that too, but then like some of the goals, like what Beth said, the goals that he scored, you can't take out the team. So that's why I just play Cavani and Ronaldo together.
I agree with that, but I just have a problem with playing two close to 40-year-olds together in the same team.
But Cavani runs and presses more than any of the 20-year-olds.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's why I'm starting.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Ronaldo is an exceptional option and a better finisher. But I don't. Before I get absolutely murdered, I'm still delighted Ronaldo's at the club, but I still kind of hold on to a bit of that thing that we need to look at more options and not just be a guaranteed starter every single day.
I'm delighted he's at the club as long as he's sitting on that damn bench.
Yeah, get on that bench.
Bombshell. We are wrapping up the show, guys. It's been a good show actually. Talking a little bit of tactics and different players. It's sort of given me a little bit of encouragement until all this press conference, that is. Anyway, guys, we're done. Cheers for tuning in as always. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the United Stand as always, and just there, look at that there. They just put up our socials for you guys to contact us if you wanted to have a go at Joe.
I can't guarantee you guys, I am gonna get slaughtered for this.
Because you know there's a clip coming right up right now.
I know.
Guys, on Twitter soon. And Joe is facing right in there.
Yeah,
guys, cheers for tuning in. All super chats, the new mods, the new members as well. I know it was Chris who joined today on the member section. Welcome to the United Stand, Chris, and everyone for tuning in and watching. Don't forget, like I said, subscribe to the United Stand. Do hit the like button on your way out as well, guys. You'll catch us on Thursday. Fan Forum is back as we'll be looking ahead towards Watford. And I don't know. I can't tell you anything, but Ollie's going to tell us something. God knows what that's going to be. But for now, we're out of here, guys.